Right now, we are seeing the perpetuation of a most dangerous trend out there today. I gotta talk to the fellas tonight because, fellas, it's really discouraging to me to see that all y'all need to see is a pretty face, and it shuts your brains off. It's like a light switch that just turns your brains off. And you just stop thinking. You wonder why the females think so lowly of men today. It's because they know it. If they got a cute face, or in lack of a cute face, well, if I got a rear end that could stop traffic, these fellas here will stop thinking. Why wouldn't she want to dominate you? Due to COVID fears, older generations held back on travel during the pandemic, but now they are splurging, Tinsley said. Now they're splurging. Yeah, because there's young chicks out here to go tricking on. There's young chicks out here to go tricking on. And that brings us to this young lady here. And let me say a couple of things. For the jackasses and the real lowlives out there who've been doxing this girl, calling her damn job and whatnot, for those, you low-live individuals, I can't really say what I want to say here on YouTube, but basically it ends with you just kind of disappearing. So I think I can get away with saying that. It basically just ends with you just disappearing. Male and female. In any case, what happened here is that this young lady put up a picture of herself working at Home Depot, and she was talking about how people say that she's too pretty to be working at Home Depot. Now, look, there's some factors that have not been considered here, and nobody should be harassing this girl. Nobody should be calling her damn job. Nobody should be sitting up here messing with her. You know, that's not haterish, that's gutterish. So just because your pig face didn't turn out the way you wish it had, there's no use hating on her. There's no sense hating on her. That's not going to make that Wicked Witch of the East face of yours look any better. So don't sit up here hating on her. And to all the incels, she wasn't trying to date you no way. It is what it is. Just because you look like one of the orcs from Lord of the Rings, don't mean you need to be calling Home Depot. But let's go ahead and jump into some facts here.
Hey, I wanted to come back because I thought about it and shit. You know, I posted a video about the Home Depot girl. You know, the girl that everyone says is like, oh, she's being attacked for being too pretty, or she's being doxxed and harassed and everything. And Shaq's in her DMs. Yeah, Shaq's in her fucking DMs, right? So. So, like, I just say that I don't believe she's as innocent and pious as she would say. It's just my fucking opinion, because if she was all of that, we would never know about, Shaq being in her DMs or any of this other bullshit, All right? So that's not the reason that, I'm here right now. The real reason I'm here right now is because, Jason Black covered it. And, I gotta laugh at shit because he had this segment when he covered the story, where he was excoriating men that was asking her to open the OnlyFans or whatever. Men that were coming at her, based on her appearance and shit, pretty much and shit. And he went in, man. He really went in on these guys, these unseen guys he'll never know or anything and shit, and some women too, okay, but mostly men. And he was just going hard in the paint. So I felt like he was acting like a fucking simp and shit. It reminded me of something that occurred like over 20 years ago and shit when I lived on the West Coast. Me and some friends went to a book signing for a porn star. Right? I'm not gonna say the porn star, but like I had been dispatched there with a camera to film it. Right? And while I was filming it, one of this woman's fans, a fan, he self-appointed himself as security, and he started harassing me. and eventually getting in front of the cameras. It was like an incel guy, with like a neck beard and shit. He was getting in it. So like I got what I needed, for the assignment. And I had some friends with me, and my friends got really angry about the guy. So they, and the woman was kind of acting a little shitty too after a while. She was okay with it at first, but once the neck beard got involved, like really trying to like get in front of my camera. He's like a big stout guy, trying to shove his beer belly into the camera lens. They got mad, and one of my friends was saying that like went outside the venue and was telling people that it was Courtney Cox in there, and that she had gotten a bad breast implants, and then like it was like Hollywood Boulevard, so a bunch of people ran in there, and the woman thought that they were just there because of who she was. She was an adult actress, and it was the funniest thing in the world. But I never forgot that, and I got flashes of that when I listened to Jason Black talking about defending this woman's honor and shit. And I just felt like he was going a little bit too hard to paint and shit. I have female siblings, female family members and shit. I gotta be honest. Okay, you have to be honest. As a man and shit, they're gonna be in some situations that you don't want them to be in, whether you like it or not and shit. And sometimes you gotta be able to read between the lines when you have like a daughter or nieces and everything. You gotta be able to read between the line with who they associate with. So when Jason was talking and shit, I just got like he was talking about how creepy the men were and they needed to, off themselves and shit. He was going that way. He was insinuating that and just talking in that, that radio voice that he has. And I was like, dude, you sound more creepy than the guys you're talking about and shit. You're like the overly protective guy that you need to keep an eye on and shit. So you sounded like a creepy uncle and shit. He was just going off and shit. And I don't hear you talking about your fucking wife or your bitches or nothing. So like, really it's none of your fucking business what some other guy is doing and shit. I understand your opinion and everything, but you're subject to the same judgment. And based on your words, he was going hard in the fucking paint for some woman that's just doing what women do and shit. Her hypergamous nature. She needs validation, so she has a fucking social media page where it's just selfies and shit. Okay, I can't tell you how many women I met and sent me a picture of their face and then kept sending me different pictures of their fucking face with different backgrounds and shit. It's the height of narcissism and shit. I had a really hilarious back and forth with a woman from Indonesia like some years ago that kept doing that until I pointed it out. And then she was like, well, what do you want to see? I said, well, I can't answer that shit. So yeah, Jason Black sounded like the creepy uncle and shit. He sounded like a neckbeard himself and shit. And I remembered another video he did where he was out filming on the streets of New Orleans, and he was following some women around and saying like no brothers was talking to him, but it was like shitty. It was like the back streets and shit. It was no main part of New Orleans what he was filming, and I could tell by the way the camera moved that he was nervous and shit. I could tell that by the way the camera moved, and I could also tell that maybe he was, he might be short or something. I'm not really getting there, but like the herky jerky, I can tell because anybody's handled a camera. You could tell like when somebody's nervous, it's moving a certain kind of way, and he was nervous and shit, walking around the streets of New Orleans and shit. Like fucking around. And I'm like shit. I really like the other day and shit. I'm an elder statesman in my community and shit. I ain't gonna be on here disparaging you without receipts and shit, but like this one, I just thought it was, it's a verbal op-ed, pretty much and shit. You sound like a creepy uncle, Jason. Okay, you sound like a creepy uncle, like that dude you keep an eye on. That guy that's driving down the street, looking at the house because your daughter's sitting on the front porch with some shorts on or something. You sounded like that, Like who appointed you, fucking white knight? Who appointed you? Okay, fuck yourself. The judgment you gave to those guys, you give it to yourself. You sounded just as creepy as shit. You think she's gonna appreciate you coming to her defense and shit, and she has a boyfriend? Okay, and partly, like she posts all these selfies, and then she has a picture of a boyfriend there. I would be upset if I was her boyfriend, and I would tell her to take my picture off her social media page. Whether we're going to be together or not, I wouldn't want to be on that page and shit since she was posting these fucking selfies. Okay, and it's like, why are you posting these goddamn selfies and shit? It's like in the bathroom and stuff, it's more than one of those. So I don't feel like she's a paragon of virtue. I don't care what she's doing in her personal life or professional. I don't give a shit. I know what I see as shit. And I shouldn't, if she's what you say she is, we shouldn't know about Shaq's DMs being in her DMs. That shouldn't be published. She shouldn't have screen shots of that we can see. Okay, so having a little bit of discernment, being able to see the forest for the trees and shit. And I got to call you an unwanted white knight, the creepy uncle. Okay, you're a creepy uncle, man. Yeah, you're gonna help her, man. Obviously, you like what you saw when you looked at it. You like that red bone. You liked it, Jason. Okay, you think she's attractive. Okay, just say that next time and shit. Stop fucking around. Stop being a goddamn simp. Okay, stop being a simp. Okay, now you have a nice day, bro. Okay, nice radio voice and everything. Do what you do. Okay, understand the purpose and the need for it. Good day.
This message has been paid for by the Dusties. Yes, the niggas you love to hate.